My little baby wanted to come 2 weeks late. I was dying. So we were just sitting there twiddling our thumbs waiting for the baby to come. He wouldn't come. Our midwives were like, you know, have as much sex as you can. It'll get the baby out. That didn't work. Literally nothing worked. I didn't want to be induced or anything, but they said after the 2-week mark, I would have to be induced and go to the hospital. So I'm literally trying everything I can to get this baby out. I mean, I was walking 5 miles a day in these 2 weeks. I even climbed the incline with my big stomach. It was a mini incline, but I was still climbing an incline. Like, I could have had my baby on the steps, but that didn't happen, obviously. So, my mom was like, well, maybe we should just take castor oil. And I was really scared because my midwives were like, well, that could just cause really, really bad cramping or just diarrhea. So I was like, okay, let's just take it. Like, I want him to come out. So my midwives came over and I was just in a lot of pain. Like, when my contractions would come, I would drop down to the floor in like a doggy position and just like take it on. And like, it was so painful. Every 5 minutes I was in excruciating pain. And they checked my cervix and it wasn't dilated at all. I just think my midwives were just being super patient with me at the time. But since I was making progress, like dilating, that's why they didn't want to take me to the hospital. And so I went to 6 to 8. So I stayed at 8 for the longest time. So finally they could run my birth bath. So we set up my birth bath, and when I got into the bath, I mean, it relieved so much. But every 5 minutes, or now I think it was every 2 minutes, the contractions were just excruciating. And so they run my bath water and I'm just swaying back and forth, like trying to get him to come. And so they checked my cervix again and I'm at 9. So they ended up breaking my water on its own, and my baby ended up pooping in my stomach, which is called meconium. I think it's called meconium. So that's like really dangerous. Like, you can have pneumonia and stuff. But they broke my water and some of that came out. And I was at 9.5 centimeters. So what my midwives did is we all went in the room and I got out the tub and they pushed my cervix to the side so I could push. The half that was like covering it, they pushed it to the side so I can push. I pushed for 4 hours and I pushed with everything in me. And so they saw his head coming out a little bit, but at the time we didn't know, but his head was swelling. So I pushed with everything in me and I was like, look, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I need to go. And he was like, no, like, you can do it. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I called into my mom's car with just my dress on, no shoes, nothing. I just crawled into the car, got into the hospital, walked in the hospital barefoot. And like, the ladies were just taking a long time and I was like banging on the counter. I was like, I need to go, I need to go. Like, you guys need to like help me right now. Like, I need help now. And so my mom drops me off and goes and parks. And she runs in and they have her, she's like, can you guys put her in a wheelchair or something? So they wheeled me up. And I'm 9.5 centimeters dilated. So you're not really supposed to get an epidural by then. But I didn't want drugs, I didn't want anything. But at this point I needed everything. Like, anything that would help me and my baby because we weren't doing good. We get in the hospital and the ladies, like, we get upstairs and the anesthesiologist or the person who does the epidural was just holding me and she's like trying to get into my veins, but I'm so dehydrated. So every time she tried to find a vein, my vein would burst or like whatever she said, but she couldn't find my vein. So I'm just in pain. I'm like, help, help. Like, I'm crying. Like, I'm just in so much pain. I'm dehydrated. So finally she gets a vein and you have to get your IV, I think it is, until you get like, before you get the epidural. So finally she's like, be very still, put the epidural in my back. Boy, when I tell you, when those drugs hit, I was like, let's do this. Like, I can do this. Like, it was the best thing ever. And I'm the one who's completely against drugs. But at that moment, I really did need it. So when those drugs hit me, I was like, yes, like, I could relax. Like, literally, I got rest. The next morning, they woke me up and they were like, okay, like, push, like, you can push. Like, I wake up and everybody's in the room and they're just like, push, because I had fallen asleep. And so I was like, oh my god, like, okay. So I'm like pushing and pushing, and it felt like I was pushing for 5 minutes, but I was pushing for another 2 hours. And finally I pushed and he was here, and I was like, oh my God. I was crying so hard. I was like, my baby. He had a super cone head though, because his head was swelling and it was just like all bad. But it was like literally the best feeling in the world just to hold my baby. And you know how babies come out kind of all slimy and stuff? Since he was 2 weeks late, he came out super dry and gross and disgusting. My poor baby. But anyway, so he was just so cute to me. Like, nobody could tell you anything about your baby. Even though newborn babies kind of look weird, he looks so cute to me, and I was just so excited to have him in my arms. And like, oh, literally like the best day of my life. Like, I love my baby so much, and I'm so blessed that he was healthy and that I was healthy. I was this close to getting a C-section, but I ended up not getting one because I just pushed through. Please subscribe down below. Have a great day.